Here we go, Willie.
We're live. I'm giving you intro music. We're live. We're live. Stop talking. We're live on Facebook. I think I need some hundreds of thousands. I'll clean them up later. Throw them on me. Throw them. Mary, Mary, wanna be with you. Woo! 'Cause I feel good tonight. We're gonna have a good time tonight. Okay, that's enough. Does your husband like that? Does he think that's brilliant?
Well, I have no idea. He's downstairs getting dinner ready and I'm upstairs talking to you. So I have no idea what he thinks, but let's see what he thinks. I'm sure he'll say something cheeky. Hello, you.
Welcome to the show, Mary. Mary Haddock-Staniland.
Good evening.
Good evening. To our viewers, thank you so much for joining in. My 15-year-old son saved me of embarrassment because I really wanted to be quite dramatic with this intro and fantabulous, because that's what Mary is. And I had some dairy milk that I was going to put on my face, cream, and throw hundreds of thousands on there and dance around with toilet paper. And
where on earth did you think that that was going to be okay to do that?
And Ben said, don't embarrass me, don't do that. So now what he's doing,
Ben.
He's eating the hundreds of thousands, and it's quite disgusting.
Yeah, that's okay.
Thanks, Mary. Thanks for joining us.
It's nice to see you.
How have you been? How have you been in lockdown? Tell me all about it.
COVID-19 level 4. Actually, to be perfectly honest with you, I've actually really enjoyed it because, as you know, as my friend and as my agent, you know that I travel around all the time and I'm never in one place for more than just a couple of days. And so this has been the longest time I've spent at home uninterrupted for almost 2 years. So actually, I've enjoyed being at home. We got 2 new kittens recently, so I've been enjoying having them running around under my feet. I haven't been enjoying learning how to do all of the things that I have so much support with. And I have had to learn how to blow dry my hair. I've had to learn how to do my makeup to be camera ready. I've had to learn this weekend 2 hours to soak my nails off. I've had to learn to pluck my eyebrows. I've had to discover so many things that I take, but my chiropractor, my osteopath, my massage therapist. Honestly, the village that makes me possible, oh my God, they're all getting a pay rise. I tell you, I appreciate them immensely. But I've coped and I've survived. I've even learned how to make some breakfast without burning the toast. I've managed to connect with people. You know, the other thing, with the amazing thing of technology in New Zealand, is that we have some of the best internet connectivity in the world. So we're actually able to do this without any hassle. I've been able to see all my friends around the globe every week for drunken wine conversations like I haven't normally being able to do. So you know, there have been some bad things that have occurred, but
this is the most people that I've had tune into the show live like this. You've got quite a following, haven't you? Because when you were generous enough to go on Instagram and tell people that you were going to be doing this tonight, all of a sudden on my Essential Talent page it just went ding 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 ding, just people joining up. It's unbelievable. How many people follow you on Instagram, do you know?
Well, Instagram isn't actually, I'm actually not that fabulous on Instagram. I think collectively, yeah, you know, there's over 130,000 collectively on social media platforms. But look, I don't know that that's the thing. I don't think there's anything fantastic about me. I've told you this many times. I think it's actually people are at home. They're pretty bloody bored. And we're competing with Seven Sharp, and I love Hillary. And we're competing with the project. I love Kanoa, but there's obviously something better to see, and it's something about Mary on Facebook with you. So God, who knows? I don't know. I actually don't know why. I genuinely don't know why people still follow me. And I've said this to you many times as well, that I actually don't lead a fabulous life anymore. I did used to. When I was single and out partying and shaking. Well, actually, I didn't even have these, actually. I was pretending I had them. But I was having so much more fun and doing all the things that we can't talk about in a 7 p.m. Facebook time slot. But I had so much more fun. And I helped invent dancing on tables. I mean, there was a bar in the Viaduct that by tradition, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I was there. And I was dancing on bar tops. But I don't know why people still follow me, because I'm actually not that excited. I don't think, anyway.
Told you this before, and it's bloody true. You're a very, very kind person. That's what I think. I think you're a very kind person, very genuine, very authentic. So I think New Zealanders are attracted to people like that. They don't like big notice. They want people to call it straight. And don't you reckon?
Well, yeah, it would have to be said that I do fire from the hip, and I'm not one to mince my words. I'm very clear on my mission. You've been at the receiving end of these phone calls from me many times. But I know what it is that I want, and I know what I want to do in return. And so for me, any kind of business or even personal conversation has to be true and authentic and real. And I think, to be perfectly honest, I've had a lot of, in my past has led me to believe that perhaps I haven't always been very genuine and authentic. And
so where did life begin with you? Take us from the top. And by the way, I'm going to put you on full screen, so don't think that I've disappeared. Tell us your story from the start.
This is very captivating when you're just sitting here talking to a camera about yourself. I mean, I do these interviews all the time, but it's very difficult when you're just sitting here going, this is me. Well, from the start, look, I grew up in small town New Zealand. That's better. Do a 2-shot, Shaun. Never mind this one on my own. Christ almighty. I know you want to drink your tea and have a piece of toast, but you can just I grew up in small town New Zealand. I've got a large family, a large Māori family. And I knew very young that there was something different about me, and I knew that I was going to soar in the universe a little bit differently than most. I have an identical twin brother, although he's not so identical to me anymore these days. But growing up in small town New Zealand, with all of the elements that has in a low socioeconomic environment, from in parts a dysfunctional family, I knew that the light at the end of the tunnel for me was always going to be not living that same life. So I went through school with great difficulty. School was an absolute nightmare to me. Children were awful to me. School teachers were awful to me. But I got through education and really found that I liked the sound of my own voice, and I actually quite enjoyed looking at myself in a camera, and I quite enjoyed the mirror. And I also enjoyed the big round hairbrushes. So those, I suppose, you combine those as Olympic rings around my life, that's formed who I am today. And I suppose my career has been varied, both public sector and private sector, but I've always had a passion to share, parts of my journey of being trans to the public, to ensure that there's better understanding, that there's people who can be treated with more equity when you talk about the LGBTIQ plus community. And it has to be said, there are a lot of folk in that dimension of diversity that actually give me a hard time publicly and say that perhaps I live a privileged life or I married money. And look, I'm not denying those things. It's pretty safe to say that my husband doesn't have a lot of money left anymore, because after 13 years, I've managed to spend quite a bit of it. But when you turn a corner, I suppose, and that happened for me probably 15 years ago, that when you turn a corner and you leave your youth indiscretions behind, and you can appreciate and be who you really want to be in the world, that's helped shape really who Mary is today. And
do you come?
Voila, here I am.
Do you come across a lot of discriminatory these days? Because I hope you don't mind me sharing, but I know that you sent me an email not so long ago, and it was just, I just thought it was disgusting and heartbreaking. This terrible human being would go to the trouble of sending you such a hateful email. Do you get a lot of that, or is that becoming less as we sort of mature as a society?
Oh, look, actually, it's been a long time since I've received something so vile, and I can't go into the too much of the detail of the email because my legal people are looking over that with where that's at. But look, what I would say is that I know that I am not everybody's cup of tea. In fact, I can't stand tea. I drink the strongest coffee, and preferably with vodka in it. And I know that I'm not everyone's flavor. I know that people perhaps look at my life, and there are parts of my family that actually look at my life and think it's a little bit made up or pretend because of what they see and hear. But this is the life that I've chosen, and to get up out of bed every day and actually really be Mary is by no means a small task. And I think that people who have a perception of how others live their life, they are entitled, as I am someone that is relatively easily approachable. If you want to find me, to email me, to tell me how much you hate me, it's very easy to do. Then people do. And I honestly do, psychologically and mentally, I do struggle with some of that stuff when it comes up. And the recent outburst did take some time for me to get my head around. But you know what? I came into the world wanting to make a splash, and I make splashes every single day being Mary. And the value I know I'm adding up and down corporate New Zealand and the public service, I know, is making a difference into the lives of people that don't have the voice or the platform to share their message. And so I lean on my support network, and I'm lucky to have the most amazing husband in the world and the best friends that are here to always pick me up when I'm down, and know that being Mary is not an easy task. And look, I wouldn't go as far to say that I'm an Ellen DeGeneres, because I know she's getting a bit of flack because she's been a bit of a bitch lately. I wouldn't say that I'm a bully, but it would be safe to...
What do you think of those comments from Ellen DeGeneres?
Oh, look, I don't know, Ellen. I'm very good friends with Oprah, this you know, but I don't slash around with no, joking. I don't know. Look, I would be the first person to say don't believe everything you read, because there have been many articles over the years written about me that haven't been true. And look, I'm not a bully, but being around me and being in my life does mean that you do have to look good. You've always got to have a lacquer of hairspray in your hair. You've always got to be on your best behavior after 4 bottles of wine. And I think just being real is so vital. And I think those that really do know me know that deep down underneath the public facade that people think that I need to be, which I don't need to be, by the way. I'm just being me. I'm just like everyone else, actually. And the normalization, you know, that conversation I have in corporate, as you know, when I'm keynote speaking, is, you know, being treated, you know, I am just like everybody else. Yes, I was born in the body that I don't no longer want to be partnered with, if you like, in life, but I'm still a human. My shit still stinks. I still need to drink the same nutrients as you. I still go to the toilet. I still, you know, I'm no different.
You've still got to look after those nails.
Oh my God. Don't even, as I'm sitting here, I'm thinking, I can't believe I just went in close, because there's still bits of my nail polish. Oh God, I tell you.
So
tell us, Vicky.
Tell us how you spend your time these days, because you, as you said earlier, you do a hell of a lot of traveling. What's that all about?
Well, secretly, I'm a flight attendant.
That's
secretly, I am a flight attendant. And Civil aviation rules require you to comply with all crew instructions and lighted signs while aboard this aircraft. To prepare for takeoff, you must now ensure your tray table is stowed, your seat is upright, your armrests lowered, and your safety belts are firmly fastened. Yeah, I have asked anyone, Leanne Langridge, who's in charge of cabin crew at Air New Zealand, and love and admiration for every single Air New Zealander I know, and there are several. I have always wanted to be a flight attendant.
Really?
But yeah, no, I'm not. I spend a lot of my time, Monday to Friday, I work for the National Body for Workplace Diversity and Inclusion. I'm in a senior role there, and I get to travel up and down the country and encourage organisations to do diversity and inclusion in the workplace well. I lead an amazing team, and I obviously get to blend parts of my personal story with my professional story. So that's what I do core. And then, of course, you give me work, and that's always crazy, and emceeing events and keynote speaking and really just being me, however that is. I mean, the downside to that is I do need to take, 6 to 8 weeks a year off. Because I need a holiday regularly. And
holiday, Mary, tell us.
Tonga Tapu. I absolutely love Tonga. I spend a lot of time in Tonga. I have a very close connection with Tonga. And I can't wait to get back to Tonga. We are very excited to go back. In fact, I was supposed to be there in a few weeks' time for a very special celebration. But we'll get back to Tonga in due course. But yes, I love Tonga. I love it. In fact, to be perfectly honest with you, I love any location where there's my friends, my husband, lots of alcohol, lots of sunshine, and lots of sand.
So Hamilton,
take a pick.
That's great. We'll get you and your husband around here.
That is one location. Just remember, hold on a minute. I spent a lot of my childhood in Matamata, and for me, Hamilton was like the metropolis of all places. You went to McDonald's in Hamilton, you went to the movies, you went to Chartwell Square, you went to Centre Place. So I do have fond memories of Hamilton, but that is not a location I go to regularly.
How much time do you spend in Aussie? You seem to be in Aussie a lot. Do you do a lot of work over there?
I do a lot of work. I'm in Australia a lot. Yeah, I'm in Australia a lot, and I absolutely love Sydney. I've got my oldest sister lives in Sydney. I spent some time there with her earlier this year. I then went for New Year in Sydney. I probably go to Sydney maybe 5 or 6 times a year. And then I was in Melbourne speaking at a conference earlier this year as well.
I could live in Melbourne. I've only been there twice. I love the place. Seriously.
It's very dangerous. That's all I'm going to say. Going to Melbourne for me is a very dangerous. There's just no, not in the sense that you're thinking. No, I'm very well looked after. I have an amazing driver in Melbourne, and a bar that I go to every time I'm there. No, it's dangerous. As in, I'm getting a phone call from Willie like by day 2, going, "What are you doing? Why are you spending all of the credit? It's just getting out of control." And I just feel sometimes it's like, sorry, I can't, the roaming's not working, gotta go, bye. It's quite painful. I mean, fuck's sakes. Oh, sorry, did I just swear out loud?
Swearing on the show. We encourage it on the show. Hey, if you've got a question.
Oh, you encourage it?
No, we encourage it.
Far out.
Hey, if you've got a question for Mary, please drop it down, because I'm actually having a look at my cell phone. I haven't got it sorted because it's a tough life. But if you want to ask a question, just fire away. So tell me what else you've been up to. What's with this Live with Mary? What's that all about?
Oh, Live with Mary. Yes.
I did that earlier for you.
Yeah, thank you. Look at that. # Live with Mary. Look, there's been no television network, and it doesn't matter how many television executives I know, Paul Maher, Ben Quinn, the list goes on. No one's given me my own show yet. So back when Beyond began, Mary had a little lamb, as in me. I had my own YouTube channel, and I had my own YouTube show called Mary TV. And
Yes,
when we decided that Mary TV was like done a death and I couldn't be bothered doing it any longer, I had been talking with my friend who produced Mary TV with me, Andrew Gray, for a long time about reincarnating Mary to do more camera stuff, because I took a bit of a break from it and went out and got a real job and, you know, all the boring stuff, which is just a pain in the ass, really. But anyhow, so hashtag Live with Mary was created, and I did a Sunday segment every Sunday for about 8 weeks. And I had people come to my home downstairs, and we had a full-blown studio. Like Andrew had the lights, the auto cues. It was amazing, but it was just too expensive. It was costing about $500 a week to produce. And after a few weeks, my husband was like, right, you're actually not making any money and you're spending it.
I really want to.
Yeah, so many people think that he doesn't even exist, so don't even worry about it. And we were actually due to do a magazine story, as you know, but now the magazine's gone bust, so there's no magazine happening about our wedding anniversary. So sorry, he's still an imaginary friend to some of you. But so we created hashtag Live with Mary on a Sunday. Don't choke on your tea. And so that was just too expensive. And then we just decided to do away with it. And on the odd occasion, I would do a Live with Mary. And then COVID-19 happened. And an old producer friend from my radio day said, look, girlfriend, you got to sort your shit out. Get on to doing something live. And then the next day, after having had that conversation, I saw you go live with someone. And I was like, hey, I want to see, what is this program? You're my agent. You're supposed to be pimping me fucking out. And instead you're pimping yourself out. What are you doing? And so then you called me and told me, oh, you do this, download that, do this, do that. And then that day, boom, I was away. And I just went off on my own little tangent. I've had some fantastic interviews. I've got it two shows, Tuesday, Wednesdays, 10:45 over on my public page. You know, newsmakers and breakers during COVID-19. I've had MPs. I've got someone very exciting coming up in a few weeks, which I can't tell you about. But this week I can't. If you know the text that I sent you a screenshot for, you know who I'm talking about. Don't you dare say anything. Don't you dare. But I have this week. Who have I got this week? Oh, Megan Alatini. God, we all know her. Tonight's the night. Megan Alatini. She's tomorrow. And she's like family. She's like family. So I'm looking forward to chatting to her. I'm actually a bit nervous about talking to her because I've never interviewed her. We've worked together so many times over the years, but I've never interviewed her. And then on Wednesday, my other very good friend, Moss Burmester, the former Olympic swimmer, I'm chatting to him about exercise regime. I think my tie's coming undone. Someone's just texted me on my phone saying,
if you've got a question for Mary, jot it down in the comments section and we will ask her, because there's a lot of people on board. Don't be shy, because as everybody knows, I'm the world's worst interviewer. There's a lot of great Joanne Kelly Karamanata says, love you, Mary, very inspiring.
Oh, thanks.
Fiona McLeod says, lol, I have the exact same fond Hamilton memories from my childhood. I should have pre-read that. I will not.
Look, it's nothing personal. I actually don't have a problem with Hamilton. There just isn't a Trillies Cooper store there, first of all. And secondly, there isn't a Trillies Cooper store. And secondly, even though actually tonight I'm wearing Ricochet, I'm actually not wearing Trillies Cooper at all. I thought I'd bring it down for the people a bit, you know, like boom, bring it like niggas in the hood stuff, like yo stuff. Oh my God, I just said the N word on Facebook. That's terrible. But I have no issue with Hamilton. I have no issue with Hamilton. I just don't get to Hamilton. And often, a lot of people are saying they want, Mary, can we meet Willie tonight, please? My sister, I don't know if that's my sister in Cambridge or my brother-in-law in Saudi Arabia, because they've got one of those joint accounts, which is really annoying. Bring in Willie. We want to meet Willie. Look, sorry, I'm just going to say, Shaun, I'm taking over your show. My husband is where he should be right now at 7:30 on a Monday night. He's downstairs in the kitchen making dinner.
What's the dinner?
There is not... Tonight, we get, and this is not a sponsored thing, we get a thing from HelloFresh. And I tell you...
Because if it is, then agent that's done that for you, and I'm going to. Hey, here's a
No,
really lovely question. Here's a lovely question from Fiona McLeod. Mary, you're awesome. What is your main message to the world? What is your main topic with keynote speaking? Have you met Fiona McLeod before? Lovely person. We had her on the other night.
Name is familiar. Name is familiar. Tell her that our people need to talk so that we can have a cocktail after COVID-19. Name is familiar. Do you know what? My main message is around the importance of an inclusive and diverse workplace. Because when we can nail that, we can do better. We will get better outcomes. We will be more creative. There's more innovation. And enabling leaders is the hardest tool. It's the hardest tool to be able to ensure leaders understand the importance of being more inclusive. I mean, look, organizations by default, now we're getting really serious. We were talking about bloody clothing before. But organizations by default, Shawnee, they are diverse by nature because of the 113 ethnicities that make up New Zealand's working population. So when we recruit and we hire and we fire and we replace and we get people in, we're hiring the 113 ethnicities. But as an example of what occurred in March 15, people didn't know how to deal with the Muslim community. Why did they not know how to deal with the Muslim community? Because they've never learnt to understand their workplace and the people that work in them. So nailing inclusion, someone's texting me, Chris Hancock, I knew he's a little cheeky. Don't just ignore any message or question he's asking. I'll tell you about him later. Chris, I will out you that when we are nailing inclusion, that is where the road hits the rubber. That is where people come up with the biggest amount of hurdles, is they don't know how to do it. They don't know how to navigate it. They don't even know how to have conversations. And so I go into boardrooms and say, right, asshole, put your money where your mouth is. Tell me what it is that you're going to do to help change the dial in your organization. I hold chief executives, boards, chairs of boards. I hold everyone to account. I'm not here to fuck spiders. I want to know what it is that you're going to. Yeah, that's my saying for 2020.
Where do leaders come unstuck then? What's the most common problem that you would say?
They assume, they make assumptions about their workforce, and they don't ask questions. And often, and we know that that layer of chief executive in a large organization has often got the dots of people around them, providing them with the information and sharing and briefing him on this and briefing him on that. Oh, get fucked. I don't want anyone briefing anyone about anything when it comes to this. Get me an appointment. I say to my team all the time, no, not interested. I want to go to the horse's mouth. I'm not speaking to the horse's ass. Often that leads to confusion because there's blurred lines, and it's better when I can say, hello, I'm here to tell you we've got a problem. And I'm not saying that there are organizations out there that are doing this amazingly every day, which there are, by the way. Everyone can do better. There are organizations up and down New Zealand that can do better, and worry less about the four walls of their building and those that are receiving a payslip that they're nailing inclusion. Let's think about this as building a more inclusive Aotearoa. This is about the future of, Shaun, your children, the future of other people's children that are watching this, and you know, the audience I talk to. It's not just about the organization, it's about everyone, really.
Am I oversimplifying it? And I think I probably am, and this is where I want to learn more from you. By simply saying,
you'll have to speak to my agent. I'm quite expensive.
Am I oversimplifying it by just saying everybody should be treated the same in the workforce? I think I may be. Am I? Is there more to it?
There is more to it, because treating you the same is not treating me the same, because I need a lot more time out of the diary to go and get my hair done than you. And I think that there is, you know, I can't be treated the same as you. I also need to have a better car park than you, because I always need to be closer to the front door, because I cannot get my hair wet when I walk, you know, and thank God I have an underground car park. But no, in seriousness, you can't That's an old adage saying that probably came from the 70s. What the researchers that we know, and Dr. Guillermo Morello, who works in my team, is a better person to talk to this because he has a PhD in this space. But what we know is that we have the lens that we work within and that we recruit to is a very 1930s, 1940s way, is that there's a white Christian religious male that works at home. There's a mother at home. She's pregnant. She's got a child already, so on and so forth. And as we've gone by into the 70s, 80s, and 90s, we've evolved as a nation, as I alluded to before, with 113 ethnicities working in today's landscape in Aotearoa. But the lens that we use as leaders, that's often still in the 1930s way. And if I can be also as bold to say, and it's not just this area, but the old white guy, he often gets a bit of a hard time. The stale male, old white male pale stale. And look, I have meetings like don't want to point out the obvious. And Shaun, you will know this in your corporate career in radio, is that they're very quick to say, no, this is the way it is, and no, I fought the way, and no, it isn't actually their fault. And I'm the first person to say, both in boardrooms and publicly when I talk to media about this, that it's actually not their fault. They've been institutionalized in the way they now think. And it's our responsibility as champions in diversity and inclusion to actually come up to them and say, hey, look, Dal, you're being a fucktard, and here's why. And this is how you can change the dial. And mark my words, I'm coming straight into the barrel to look at you. I've actually said that to leaders in organizations.
You know what? I believe you 100%. This has been bloody good. It's half an hour. Tell me what's coming up in the future. What else are you working on?
Look, I have got something really amazing happening, which, as you very well know, I can't talk about. But look, it's an opportunity for so many people to see and hear. But yeah, there's always stuff going on in the pipeline, and I'm not one of those people that go, I've always got projects in the pipeline, right. I actually do. There's lots happening. COVID-19 has been an opportunity for me to reach out and test the waters and see what else is going on there. Besides my corporate life, I sit on an amazing board and offer my fabulosity to them in a governance aspect. And I do charity stuff. I have a great partnership with Lifeline New Zealand, and I'm looking forward to a new campaign with them in the future. So there's always things keeping me busy. That's why I need to have lots of holidays.
Go to #Live with Mary. Check out her show on her page. I love being your agent, and more importantly, your friend. You're a great person, great human being.
Pleasure. Love you. Lots of love. Take care. Bye, everybody.
Love, Billy.
What to? Bye.